When we discuss the most notorious serial killers in history, names like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer usually dominate the conversation. But in terms of sheer numbers, those high-profile cases do not even come close to the most prolific killers to ever exist. True terror often operates quietly, hidden behind professional titles or in vulnerable communities where victims are easily overlooked. Today, we are diving into the grim history of the 5 serial killers with the highest victim counts on record. From trusted professionals to predators who haunted entire continents, we are looking at how many lives they took, how long they operated, and exactly how they got away with it for so long. Let's look at the facts. 1. Harold Shipman. We begin with a man who used a position of absolute trust to carry out his crimes, Dr. Harold Shipman from the United Kingdom. Known to the public as Dr. Death, Shipman is widely considered Britain's most prolific serial killer. Operating as a general practitioner for over 2 decades between 1972 and 1998, his weapon of choice was a lethal dose of diamorphine. Because his victims were primarily elderly patients, their sudden deaths were easily brushed off as natural causes. Shipman was officially convicted of 15 murders, but a massive independent investigation concluded that his true kill count was closer to 250 people. He was finally caught in 1998 after growing greedy and trying to forge the will of one of his wealthy victims, which immediately raised suspicions. 2. Luis Garavito. Next, we travel to South America to look at Luis Garavito, a terrifying predator known as the Beast. Operating primarily in Colombia, as well as Ecuador and Venezuela, Garavito targeted vulnerable street children, orphans, and low-income laborers. His horrific active streak lasted for 7 years, spanning from 1992 until his arrest in April of 1999. Garavito used elaborate disguises, often posing as a monk, a charity worker, or a street vendor, to gain the trust of young boys before leading them into remote areas. He eventually confessed to his crimes, and investigators successfully confirmed at least 193 victims. However, due to the remote landscapes and missing person records, authorities strongly suspect his actual victim count exceeds 300. 3. Pedro Lopez. Our third figure is Pedro Lopez, historically branded as the Monster of the Andes. Operating just a generation before Garavito, Lopez terrorized young girls across 3 different countries, Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador. His active period spanned 11 years, from 1969 until his eventual capture in 1980. Lopez was arrested after an attempted abduction failed, leading to a massive confession that shocked the continent. He led authorities to mass burial sites, resulting in his conviction for 57 murders in Ecuador alone. However, he claimed responsibility for over 300 total victims across the region. Shockingly, due to Ecuadorian laws at the time, Lopez was released after serving less than 20 years and his current whereabouts remain completely unknown. 4. Samuel Little. Moving to North America, we look at Samuel Little, whom the Federal Bureau of Investigation officially confirmed as the most prolific serial killer in United States history. A former competitive boxer, Little operated for an incredible 35 years, moving constantly between 19 states from 1970 typing to 2005. Little specifically targeted marginalized and vulnerable women. He would use his boxing strength to knock his victims unconscious before strangling them. Because there were no stab wounds or bullet holes, many of these deaths were mistakenly categorized as drug overdoses or accidents. Little was finally convicted in 2014. While in prison, he confessed to 93 murders and drew highly detailed charcoal portraits of his victims from memory, allowing the FBI to verify over 60 cases. 5. Mikhail Popkov. Our final figure is Mikhail Popkov, a Russian serial killer nicknamed the Werewolf. Popkov managed to evade detection for nearly 2 decades, operating between 1992 and 2010 in the region of Siberia. What made Popkov so elusive was his profession. He was an active police officer. He would use his police cruiser to offer late-night rides to women, promising them a safe trip home before driving them into remote, snow-covered forests. Popkov was initially convicted of 22 murders in 2015. However, subsequent trials and deeper confessions revealed the true, staggering scale of his actions. Popkov has since been convicted of 83 total murders, making him the most prolific convicted serial killer in modern Russian history. These 5 cases serve as a dark reminder that the most dangerous individuals are often the ones who know how to exploit the cracks in society. Which of these historical cases did you find the most shocking? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you want to see more deep dives into true crime and global history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.